Hi, good evening, everybody. So, we meet again for the fourth class on MSW-17, where we have discussed about the current methods of social work and the values in social work. So, today we will be discussing the last block in MSW-17, where we will study the second part of the values in social work. So I will be presenting my screen. Now this block is on the second part of values of professional social work. In this part, we will be discussing some more values that we have to follow as a social worker. The first refers to loyalty to profession, patriotism, love for one's country, cultural sensitivity, hard work, responsibility and commitment, and finally, teachership. These all are some other values that we have to understand are important as far as the professional social work is concerned. So, we will start with the first unit. Here we shall understand the concept and nature of loyalty, what exactly loyalty is all about, why it is important as a value in social work profession, what are the principles involved in the value of loyalty, um, how do we nurture this value of loyalty in the profession, and as while practicing loyalty, how we will be handling the challenges, and finally there is a case study of School of Social Work IGNU, where we will be studying this expression of value of loyalty to the social work profession. Now, loyalty is a very common denominator in many decisions across the board. It is about it remains a relevant value in a contemporary world, and here we must understand that Plato was the first a philosopher to mention this concept of loyalty in his work about Socrates. Now, Socrates discusses his loyalty to God versus the state, his vocation versus being politically correct. And loyalty is the quality of being loyal, faithfulness to engagements or obligations, adherence to a leader or a cause. So it can be considered as a primary virtue, or the heart of all virtues, or the central duty amongst duties. It is also the basic moral principle from which all other principles can be derived. So the cause, now this is basically explains loyalty as the willing, practical, and thorough doing, devotion of a person to a cause, whether to a country or to religion or maybe a profession, etc. Uh, Now, according to Royce, there are two types of loyalty that he talks about. One is what is known as minimal loyalty. Okay, minimum loyalty, and the second is a maximal loyalty. So here, the minimal loyalty is basically the bare minimum loyalty to any person, object, or institution of any kind. And the maximum loyalty means a total commitment and dedication, as it literally means. Now, it's also important to understand that loyalty is also linked to the roles that we play as a member of the society. So, professionally, personally, relationally, and so on. So, the common forms of loyalty that we can trace out from our society: loyalty to nation, that is, loyalty to one's nation, being loyal to one's nation, being loyal to one's profession or towards one's employer, loyalty to the life partner, loyalty to our religion, being loyal to mentors and to our friends. Now, there are certain categories of loyalty to profession. Now, this concept of loyalty is basically social. It loyalty to a cause, it unites the fellow beings of that cause, binding them together in their service. Now, as a value of social work profession, loyalty can definitely bind together the entire social work fraternity under a single umbrella, considering that they have to act together to complete or to achieve a particular mission or vision for a better society. Now, for social work professional, loyalty demands, for thoroughgoing. Like, it's not merely a casual interest, but a wholehearted commitment to the profession. Being committed to the principles of social work, being committed to the methods and practice of social work, being committed to the, the values of social work. Loyalty to one's profession is very important, and we can find two types of persons in every profession. The first kind consider this profession just as a bridge for a job and a means of financial stability. The other group of people, on the other hand, they consider profession as a vocation or a calling, a true profession. It's basically what they are meant to do. Most service professions like medicine, law, demands and expects loyalty of its members through its code of ethics and practice. Now, when we closely observe different professions, we can find that different types of loyalties are operational in professional practice. And we may divide the loyalty to the profession into three different categories, namely the productive loyalty, the monetary loyalty, and the normative loyalty. So, the productive loyalty is it refers to the active involvement in the profession while imbibing the values and ethics of the profession and working towards the enhancement of the profession. So, basically, we will be uh, working on improving the knowledge base and skills that we will be employing while working in the profession, and try to gain mastery over what we are doing, not only for the sake of self satisfaction, but also as a feeling of accomplishment, which benefits, individuals, groups, families, communities, and the society at large. Second is the monetary loyalty. It is basically being loyal to the profession only as means of getting a job and earning the bread and butter. Now, the total commitment to the profession is absent in the monetary loyalty. And the profession may switch over their professions if they get better jobs opportunities outside their professional circle. Now, after this comes the normative loyalty or simply loyal or simple loyalty. This is based on a sense of duty and a moral commitment. So, it is a result of cultural and organizational socialization and the traditionally imbibed values as a result of upbringing and inherited family values, religious values, and values inculcated through the external influence such as education, experience, and exposure. So the professionals, they will feel committed to stay in the profession and adhere to the professional values and ethics. So it is basically about commitment to the cause, faithfulness and commitment to a cause. And this is very important because this can bind together the entire social work fraternity under a single umbrella to act together for its mission and vision for a better society. Now, we will discuss here how loyalty to profession is a value of social work. Um, Now, if one wants to play honorably in the world of social work profession, one would need two things. One is professionalism and loyalty. Loyalty among the people is an important value in the contemporary social work field. It enables social workers to bring together the knowledge, skills, and values and put these into practice according to the experiences, relationships, and social circumstances of the people they work with. Now, social work profession is practiced all over the world with a set of core values, diverse knowledge base and skills. Social work profession promotes social change. It's also a problem solving in human relationships and the empowerment and liberation of people to enhance their well-being. Now, utilizing theories of human behavior and social systems, social work intervenes at the points where people interact with their environment, and principles of human rights, social justice are fundamental to social work. So, it is clear from this definition that social work profession relies heavily on relationship and loyalty to the profession, and it helps the professional to practice a profession along with its envisaged mission and vision, and it ensures that the services are personalized and human rights are safeguarded through building professional relationships and empowering people as individuals in their groups, families, and communities. And it also goes with the understanding that profession social work is not just a profession, but it is a profession with a calling. The extent of loyalty to the profession is explained in the loyalty framework. Here, this is explained in this given figure here. This is the framework of loyalty to social work profession. So we have the loyalty towards the self, we have the loyalty to the social work institutions, okay, whichever institution is giving us skills, it is helping us to, train ourselves, teaching us methods, values, principles, and ethics. Then there is this loyalty towards the clients and the agency system. There's loyalty to other professionals and the professions. And finally, it's a loyalty to associations, societies, and the nation. So this is the loyalty of framework of loyalty to the social work profession that we have to follow. Now, loyalty to self is definitely, this is the entry point of loyalty to one's profession, and it is like we have to feel um, understand that it is a social calling. It is basically a profession with a calling, and we have to feel the call to the profession in our self, in our inner self. The social work professional, they have to be loyal to their relationships and to the fellow beings in the society. One chooses the professional consciously and not by force, and one remains within the profession because of one's conviction. So this is something which will help us to remain loyal to ourselves. Then is the loyalty to the social work institutions, methods, values, principles, and ethics. Remaining loyal to the institutions which trains us, which teaches us the methods and practice of social work, ethics, principles, all of these. And apart from that, every member of the social work fraternity is expected to master and imbibe these values, ethics, and methods of the profession. These will uh, They also envisages loyalty to the institution from where we have studied and we are, um, you know, or we are working or an alumni of that institution. Then loyalty to the client and the agency systems, that definitely means whatever agency we are working with and the clients that we are dealing with, we have to have certain sense of loyalty to them, and understand that the agency is where one is placed for the practicum, and the agency is referring clients to the professional. This could also be the agency system that we talk about. Then there are other professionals and profession. That means whoever other professionals and professions that we work with. It could be medical profession, could be legal profession. There could be so many other law and order, administrative, managerial professions, support groups. Okay, so here that we either work with them or we are closely associated with other professions. Then we have the loyalty to association, society, and the nation. So basically, our shared human values and relationships in the society, we need to be loyal to the society as a whole, the nation to which we belong to. Then come the principles of the value of profession. The five major principles of loyalty to profession can be considered like this. First is a need for social workers to contribute to the development and improvement of the social work profession. Second, uh, second, we need to refrain from unhealthy behaviors and affect the values of the profession. Third, we need to refrain from unhealthy, to be honest with finances and accounts. They need to publish the experiences and recordings. So whatever experiences we are having, we are supposed to publish them so that the social workers, other people can also benefit from our recordings, and also seek membership in professional associations so that we can share our expertise, share our contribute in the form policy formulation process, share our expertise with people, and also understand their point of view. Then how to nurture loyalty to profession in social work, this is very important. It can be done through by following these four ways. Number one is cultivating a strong belief in the values and goals of the profession. We need to believe in the values and the goals. Second is determination to put efforts for the good of the social work profession. So we need to put our efforts in order to build up this profession, build up the theory, build up, you know, have in whatever way we can contribute to this profession positively, building a strong motivation to stay with and work for the profession with the social work fraternity. So, working with other members of the fraternity or like minded people. And building and motivating with building the profession with them, motivating them to work for the betterment of the fraternity, and adhering to these values, methods, and principles while we are practicing as a social work professional. These are the various ways in which we can include this or build up this loyalty to the social work profession. Now, this is basically can be evidenced by three types of people. You know, loyalty to social work profession. It has to be shown by the social work academics or those people who are engaged in the work in social work, those who are engaged as practitioners, who are working as social work practitioners, and third, who are working as social work trainees. So these are three types of. Now, by the academics, there this loyalty can be, promote by promoting evidence-based research, by enhancing the professional development of the self and others, setting as role models to their students, and also improvising their knowledge base and skills in the profession, working for the theory building, being responsible and committed to the future of the profession by contributing for its enhancement. All of these are the ways in which loyalty to social work can be shown by the academics, then by the social work practitioners, since these are the backbone of the profession. These practitioners play a very pivotal role, and they often leading role in safeguarding the people's rights, building relationships to support and empower children, adults, women's groups, and families to make important choices about the directions of their lives. Now, this is again something which can be done by these by promoting evidence-based practice in the field, demonstrating these values of social work in their own life, training the people and other trainees of their agencies from their experiences. Social work trainees can include, they can develop this loyalty by, learning from their mentors, learning from their, teachers, trainers, supervisors, and carrying out all the responsibilities which is given to them. They also to they have to complete their studies. It's important that they complete their studies and they become a professional, and over a period of time develop and imbibe these values in whatever work they do. Now, how do we handle challenges in the practicing loyalty in social work profession? Now, social workers, they have a clear vision of responsible leadership, and secondly, they should have a commitment towards their clients and organization. Now, the NASW Code of Ethics is definitely a set of guidance, guiding principles to assist social workers in making decisions in the best interest of their clients and to be loyal to their professions. And they The Code of Ethics, it reiterates along 12 values. These decisions are not always easy, especially the guiding principles. Sometimes they may come into conflict. They occur when specific situations call for the worker to prioritize, one ethical principle over another. Now, there are suggested four steps are suggested here to handle challenges. One is whenever we are faced with a challenge, we need to consult the code of ethics, see what the code of ethics says, okay, and accordingly, we try to resolve the conflict that we are seeing. Second is reviewing the state and the national laws, see what the state or the national law, the local laws, they have to say about the situation at hand. Third, we seek supervision. If we are not able to understand this, then we may seek supervision from our seniors, from our co-workers, or from our supervisors, or whoever is available to get their to give their guidance. Also, seeking membership in professional networks that will help us to give a lot of information about the dilemmas, about how things can be handled. For example, in USA, most states have a hotline for social workers in which they call each other, they share their experiences in and challenges in practicing loyalty to the profession. So this is how net professional networks can be built, and membership to the professional network can be used in actually helping us overcoming these dilemmas. Now, how this practice of loyalty has been done in School of Social Work, IGNU, we'll just try to see. First of all, we it the loyalty to the profession can express through a variety of involvement. Like the School of Social Work, IGNU is involved in a lot of academic publications, researches, and other audio-video programs, publications, journals, periodicals. All of these they come out regularly, so that means that they are definitely committed to their profession. Second is development of indigenous learning materials. So coming up with a learning material which is relevant, which is original, and which is easily understood by the students, by pooling resource persons from across the country. So this is definitely it involves a lot of um, you may say building of indigenous learning materials. Indigenous curriculum, that is, we try to um, uh, plan the curriculum according to the need of the country, according to the need of the society, need of the students. Then there's also this reaching the unreached, that is try to you know enhance this social work education up to people, students across the states and union territories where there are no schools or departments of social work. So definitely a lot of people across the country, and even out of India, they have been trained to become the social workers. Then reaching the international community. So we try to include a lot of countries globally, including countries from Africa, African nations, then also in South America, also students from, say, Afghanistan and some other countries, surrounding countries, where these can be reached to international students. The networking is basically um, um, they're networking with other institutions across India to come up with study centers within India and abroad. And these having workers, social workers, or counselors who are involved in counseling, supervision, and evaluation of the practicum of these study centers. Then, all of these, apart from this, also other institutions like WHO, UNICEF, NACO, AIDS, Healthcare Foundation, USA, Florida State University, and others, universities and departments from very prestigious schools and colleges and universities. All of these have been, you know, established their networks with IGNOU. Promotion of research, IGNOU is definitely, School of Social Work is definitely uh, you know um, committed to promoting research in social work, and that is why they have started the research pay a research program right from the bachelor in social work, and also and extended till PG and PhD levels. Then holding national seminars on social work from time to time, using multimedia, like using educational videos, programs, having regular forecasts, using the internet, all these facilities of radio and related topics. This can be seen. Now, after this, we come to the National Association of Professional Social Workers in India, or the NAPSRI. This is the motivation force behind the formation of National Association of Professional Social Workers. In 2004, some of the faculty, they continue to be in its executive committee, and this association is meant for the professional social workers, students, institutions, and enhance the practice of social work in India. Now, it's also involved in publication of books and e-journals in social work. So this is, again, it's an important association. Employment generation, School of Social Work is also instrumental in generating, employment opportunities to the students, and this is um, by involving them in counseling sessions, also calling for other placement drives and all that. Then development and promotion of contemporary methods of social work. So the founding director. promotes six contemporary methods of social work, namely strengths based practice, public interest litigation, awareness campaign, advocacy, networking, and resource mobilization. Now, all these methods are very important, especially in the practice of social work in developing countries in the present day context. So definitely, this has promotion of these contemporary methods also reiterates the loyalty of the school of social work towards the professional social work. Then development and promotion of values of social work by imbibing these values and principles among the students and the faculties and the staff alike. Then establishment of the chairs in IGNU. So the School of Social Work also facilitated establishment of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of India Chair and Mother Teresa Chair at IGNU. And these have relevant programs of study based on positive value system in the area of HIV/AIDS, family education, social work, philosophy of social work, etc. So this is how different ways have been used. An establishment of a center for Tibetan studies. This has also been established with the collaboration of the Central University of Tibetan Studies. Then participation and paper presentation in national and international events. This is also promoted by the School of Social Work among the not only uh, the the staff but also among the students alike. Code of ethics for social workers. This is also uh, something which is has been promoted by the school, and the effort of the founder director has the support of NAPSWI and several prominent academicians from Central and State University in India. Then there is a postdoctoral fellowship that is provided by CSIR and to undertake research study on social work education through distance learning. So this is how the now next we will see the concept of patriotism as a value of social work. Now, patriotism can be understood as the love, dedication, and feelings or loyalty that one has towards the country of its to which one belongs. And this is considered to be the duty of every citizen to remain patriot to its motherland, especially when there is a time of need. It's important for several reasons, and without the citizens being patriotic towards the country, no country or nation can flourish or progress. Now, it is important that a citizen must take pride in his or her country's achievements, okay, both in the past and in the present, in order for the nation to achieve greater prosperity in the future. Also, it is important for the freedom of a country. And a patriotic person will always be ready to sacrifice his life for the love of his country. And they will do a lot of things to do good for the country. And this is the best virtues that we see among men. It's a noble feeling of mind, and um, is basically maybe defined more in terms of attachment to the homeland. And this is seen more in terms of the different features relating to one's own homeland, including the ethnic, the cultural, the political, or the historical aspects. And it encompasses a set of concepts closely related to those of nationalism. Now, how do we express patriotism in one's life? First of all, by studying history, knowing about the past of the country, all the glorious things that took place in the country. Then that is until unless we have an understanding of the past, it is impossible to change the future. So basically, we can learn about a culture, about the splendor of the past ages, and this is what gives us a sense of patriotism. Grappling with the inequality. So basically, trying to overcome this feeling of uh, you know um, now this is basically trying to overcome inequality and promote equality among all the citizens. Our right to vote is often usually taken for granted, but it is very important and it shows our patriotism towards a country where we will, give our participation for the governance of the good governance of the nation. Then there is also this participation in the community life. Whatever we, whenever we participate in various uh, 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 celebrations or public meetings or other functions within the community, and so participation in a community life is one of the reasons why we can you know separate sorry in a community working in a community, participating in a community life is one way of showing our patriotism towards current events. Then another thing could be by engaging in the social movements. So there has to be some kind of a response when we see any kind of injustice happening in and around us, and uh, it is we are the ones who have been, so we can show our patriotism by having respect for our flag, having paying allegiance to our flag, and springing. Um, Paying allegiance to our flag, singing the national anthem, or appreciating the occasions. All of these ways can be good reasons for, uh, you know, uh, all of these can be good way in which we can show our patriotism towards the society, in which we can participate and show our patriotism. Now there can be any kind of a social movement, where we can say it could be relating to some, like anti-corruption movement. It could be anything which directs our efforts towards solving a problem of the society, so solving any current problem of the society. Next, we come to care for the weak and the poor. So, basically, helping the people who are needy, who are in need of our any help, or who are lacking resources in whatever way we can contribute. Then, having a collective responsibility, basically, uh, understanding that we are interconnected economically, socially, and morally, and begin to develop a new consciousness that seek to understand what is best for the whole community. Understand knowing your country is another way of value patriotism by providing another important activities is basically inculcating the values of patriotism is to promote tourism. So basically, visiting your country, going to different places, exposure visits for the students, then holding cultural festivals and religious festivals, gatherings, sports, etc. All of these help the countries, help the students, and the individuals to instill love for their country and for the diversity. Then there are best practices for nurturing patriotism as a value of social work. Patriotism, this involves citizens expressing loyalty to their country, including commitment to the fundamental values and principles, and principles upon which it depends and restricting the foundation for the value, respecting the cultural diversities and social status of the people. Now, basically, there are certain ways in which this can be nurtured. Like, for example, the first way is through the use of social media. Social media can play a very important role in nurturing this, feeling of patriotism. um, whenever we see a movie, patriotic movie, we hear of patriotic song, it instills a sense of love, all the more love for the nation. Then um, among like apart from this, we can also see that making visits for schools, colleges, and other institutions to historic places or museums, war memorials, architecture, monuments, all of these can also instill the feeling of patriotism among the people. And participation in functions like NCC, NSS, all of these activities will also render the help in rendering service to the nation. And joining military, paramilitary, and armed forces are some of the best practices to express patriotism. Organizing various programs on national days, like the Youth Day or Republic Day or Monday, all of these can definitely help in. Now, so celebrating these days or helping in celebration of these days will go definitely a long way in instilling patriotism. Now, there are two types of patriotism, and we need to differentiate between the two. One is what is known as a blind patriotism, and the second, what is known as a constructive patriotism. So, blind patriotism, it believes that other countries are inferior to theirs in every respect. For example, if I live in, say, now, blind patriotism, it believes that other countries are inferior to their own country, to their country. So, like, if we are living in one country and we feel that this is the country, or my country is the country which is the most powerful in the world, it is the best country in the world, and other countries, on the other hand, they are always wrong. They are irreligious, abnormal, or less civilized. So this is a kind of developing a sense of a critical locality. Then we come to the concept of constructive patriotism. This is estimated on the basis of now constructive patriotism is basically estimated on the basis of a critical conscience, okay, which refers to the formation of an opinion of the nation which is independent of elites within the group. Now, this supports the nation's welfare based on a universal humanistic human value. And how do we differentiate between the two? One is that blind patriotism is resents any form of criticism. It works now. Blind patriotism is also characterized by political disengagement and deliberate political ignorance, while constructive patriotism it correlates with gathering of the information, striving for social inclusions, and high levels of political involvement. Then it is also it blind patriotism also defines attachment using a terminology of genealogy. Okay, sandpit primordial origins generated within the nation's history. Constructive patriotism forms social boundaries. Um, then next we come to the importance of the value of patriotism in the social work profession. Why is the value of patriotism required in social work profession? Now, first of all, is basically um, not only that social work professionals they have to support their society for its development, but also it can be patriotism is important so that the values can be prevented and um, it can be used for the development per se, and patriotism can be preserved and protected and eventually then also encouraging the students to instill love for their country instead of complaining about the weaknesses or problem areas. These are certain things that we have to teach them how to be more patriotic. Then the role of patriotism in social work profession. um, Now in social work profession, again, as I say that it has confronted ethical challenges in providing value based practice in the human service field. Now, if we look at into the history of social work profession, then we will find that a lot of ethical challenges has been confronted by this profession in the field in the value-based practice in the human service field, and this profession has always upheld social justice and human well-being, and it aims at providing all people in the society to get equal opportunity for development. A peaceful and harmonious society is definitely required for many professional countries' development. Now, we must understand that social work profession is one profession which can promote patriotism as a core value at various levels. Starting from the fact that teachers can instill this value among students. practitioners are responsible for instilling this values among their co-workers, among the trainers, among their clients, and also by organizing various activities in different uh, institutions like the school or university or the government organizations or non-governmental organizations. So the value of patriotism can be included among the people at various levels without any caste, creed, and cultural differences. So social work community above all can work with the people of various rural, urban, and tribal sectors, and this includes educators, professionals, and students who are carry forward who are basically carrying forward this core value through various approaches, and they now once ensuring the better result, the practice of patriotism and service together, we would be ensuring a more positive outcome and a better result in social work interventions. So, as social workers, it becomes our duty to eradicate inequalities in the society, work towards, mobilizing resources, networking, advocacy, community organizations, and social action. Also, um the professional social work can play a vital role by advocacy for enacting better policies, programs towards eradicating poverty and hunger, and several areas like now we come to the principles of value of patriotism. Here, main principles include imbibing and inculcating the value of patriotism within us, respecting the democracy and the rights of the educators. Then uh, entitled in the constitution, sorry, respecting democracy and the rights entitled in the constitution of the land. So whatever the case may be, respecting the democracy, the principle of democracy, and the rights which are entitled by the constitution of the country, they need to be uh, that need to be basically respected. Then need to be loyal to one's country and the principles for which it stands. So we need to be loyal to the country and to the principles. Need to have accurate knowledge about the profile of the client's country and the culture. Also, non-discriminatory in approach. Now, how do we practice the value of patriotism in the social work profession? First, would be being loyal to the country, respecting the culture of the country, protecting the resources and the places, promoting welfare policies and programs, and performing our duties properly. Also, constructive criticism, that is not just a blind acceptance of policies, programs, or mistakes, but basically acting as a watchdog towards implementation of the welfare programs and taking part in the common cause, okay, or whatever the cause is, taking participating in that. Now, after reading about patriotism, we will come to the next unit, that is a cultural sensitivity as a value of social work. Now, cultural sensitivity means that we need to have respect for the diversity and inclusion part, understand that people have different cultural values, they have differences in their culture, they have uh, okay, then um, cultural sensitivity is basically, understanding that we need to understand the differences and the diversity in the cultural setting of people in order to end discrimination, in order to end oppression, poverty, and the forms of social injustice. And this is basically a set of skills. And now, this is an important skill that has to be, learned by the social worker. That we do not judge people by their cultural differences on the basis of their ethnic groups or their skin color or their cultural differences, but we need to be, um, increase our understanding and appreciation towards the different culture and similarities within and between the groups. Now, this is an important value which affects our relationship with the clients. So we need to be very careful when we are, dealing with people belonging to a different cultural setup at all. Now, cultural sensitivity has been defined as being aware that the cultural differences and similarities between people exist without assigning them a value, positive or negative, better or worse, right or wrong. So, just understanding that. So, these differences that exist between cultures, okay, these are definitely there, and these differences are reflected in the ways that different groups communicate and relate to one another. So, a culturally competent person views all people as unique individuals and realizes that their experiences, their beliefs, their values, and their language, it affects their perceptions. Also, there is a recognition, recognizing the differences between people, between values, okay, between the different cultural aspects, okay. So it is also an awareness and sensitivity of others, the practice that other cultures have. We will try certain key points which are associated. First of all, is the acknowledgement of cultural differences linked to cultural sensitivity. Second is the self awareness. Third is knowledge of other cultures. Fourth is identification of the value differences in different culture. Fifth is identification of stereotypes. Then, empathy with others, developing a sense of empathy towards others and understanding the oppressive and the power inequalities, and also, this caste and the class. Then also, looking at other differences like the religion differences in sex, occupation choice, caste and class, race, gender, age, sexual orientation, education, income prospects, length of time in the current region or country, degree of assimilation, and familiarity with the contact with one's elder sister or leaders, all sorry cultures elders or other leaders. So this is how we can be become more culturally sensitive to people. Now, why is this cultural sensitivity important? Now, this is important because as a social worker, we will have to be deal with different clients between different communities and who may be having different cultural practices. Until unless we improvise our feeling of cultural sensitivity, our value and belief in this value of cultural sensitivity, then it would be difficult for us to not only work with clients but follow so many principles like principle of um, uh, understanding the dignity and worth of individuals, talking to them with respect, and empathizing with them. And we will not be able to actually suggest any kind of options or solutions that would be practical for them, which would be which work out for them given in their cultural settings. Now, how is this process of cultural sensitivity can be achieved? One is cultural destructiveness, which refers to the blatant attempt to destroy the culture of a given group. So we need to overcome this, okay, by believing that all the cultural groups are equally important. All of them have some certain something or the other, you know. Uh, all of them, they have some unique, they are unique in their perspective, and based on this we need to uh, you know overcome this belief of cultural um superiority. Then cultural incapacity, it means individuals or organization lack the capacity to be responsible to different groups, but this is not intentional. So trying to overcome come cultural uh, incapacity. Then also, now the characteristic of cultural incapacity may be that individual or group are not consciously deciding to be incapacitated. They are simply taking care of their group. Secondly, they are stuck in a mindless position, not aware of our behavior that maintains this incapacitated state. Then there's a disproportionately apply resources to benefit their own group. Then residual effects of incapacitation may be lower expectations from the lower cultural, racial, ethnic groups. Then there will be also, those who are different are segregated for their good. It's more of a realistic worldview that highly values maintains the status quo. Then there is also this concept of cultural blindness, where they're ignorant of the cultural differences, and they often perceive themselves as unbiased because of the fact that they believe that the cultures they make no difference. And so this also fosters the assumption that people are all basically alike, which should not be the case. We need to get over this thinking. And some of the traits that encourages assimilation and the suppression of differences between people, discomfort in recognizing the differences or ignoring the differences, denying the differences as they exist. Okay, believing beliefs or policies or actions that assume world is fair and achievement is based on merit. Then institutional attitudes that refuse to take responsibility for the impact of their behaviors and actions on others, and often blame individuals or families for their respective behaviors failures. And it does not recognize the reality of the power or the privilege, and it believes that use that's useful for the dominate group is universally applicable and applies as such. Then cultural pre-competence, this is also, it implies a movement towards cultural sensitivity. Basically trying to be more and more sensitive to the differences that exist between people from uh, you know so it's basically encouraging the celebration of these differences. So this cultural pre-competence, it is expressed commit is it's an express commitment to valuing diversity, but no clear plan for achieving organizational cultural competence. Now, this concept, it works at being inclusive, and it also ceases to expect those who are different, uh, you know, and they will suppress their differences. At the same time, they're not sure what to do when differences are expressed, resulting in the movement towards the status quo. Also, recognizing the need for consumer family involvement, at the same time, often not sure how to integrate this voice or the involvement. Then is it recommends the need for improved services to specify poorly served population with no action, and they also begin to uh, you know um, also they start begin to realize ethnocentric beliefs or distort one's vision about those who are different. So these can be related to that. Then cultural competence is again, it competence is the level of it's the level the organization has a capacity to function in an effective manner within the context of the targeted group. So it's basically acceptance and respect of differences, continual self assessment, attention to dynamics of differences, and continual expansion of knowledge about the target group are important factors of competency. It involves actively seeking advice and consultation and a commitment to incorporate new knowledge and experiences into the wide range of practices. So, mindfully behaving, okay, in a manner that demonstrates value for diversity. Second is participating in the ongoing self examination into the manner in which cultures influences perceptions, working at being inclusive, also actively developing cross cultural knowledges and skills, then mindfully engaging in mutually adaptive processes, adapting service delivery to meet the needs of the multicultural community, also actively seeking input from specific poorly served populations and taking steps to meet the defined needs. These are some of the things which are characteristics of the cultural competence. Then we come to the concept of cultural proficiency. Now, this is at the positive end of the continuum and where health and human service providers should strive to be. So it's actively regarding cultural differences and promoting improved cultural relations among the diverse groups. Here it involves realizing that we are separate but also connected in a lot of ways. Shift from the worldview shift from absolutism or ethnocentrism to universalism. Attitude shift from judgment, cruelty, unforgiveness to compassion, kindness. Also from stereotype to authentic self attitude, from policy shift from exclusionary to inclusionary. So these are some of the aspects that need to be seen when we are talking about cultural proficiency. Now, how do we practice the value of cultural sensitivity in social work profession? Now, this is basically by first of all, um, it is basically, promoting culturally competent practice with clients and within organizations, social work profession, and the communities. So now they also can serve in roles in which they can make a difference in advancing the multiculturalism, inclusion, and the cultural competence. Also they're able to develop such skills and conscience, confidence in social work trainees to understand and facilitate difficult conversations about cultural differences. Okay, they are also um, organize engage colleagues in the identification and implementation of strategies that strengthen and sustain inclusive multicultural organization, also mobilizing colleagues, clients, and organizations to address injustice, bias, and uh, isms on all level. Okay, whether it is casteism, whether it is um, ethnocentrism, and all those aspects. And how do we develop this sensitivity in social work practicum? By enhancing knowledge, skills, and values in practice and policy development, articulating specific standards to guide growth, learning, and assessment of the area of cultural competence, establish indicators so that social workers in all areas of practice can monitor and evaluate culturally competent practice and policies, maintaining or improving the quality of culturally competent services provided by social workers in agencies, programs, and the private settings, informing the uh, you know um, specific ethical guidelines for culturally competent social work practice, documenting standards for agencies, peer review committees, regulatory bodies, etc. Also by acquiring cultural knowledge about developing cultural friendly attitude, about developing cultural skills, demonstrating the value of cultural sensitivity. Now, what are the principles involved in the value of cultural sensitivity? First is there is a need to be culturally aware and sensitive to our culture, need to be specific, need to have specific knowledge and information about other culture, need to have better communication skills and regard for spirituality, also need for to refraining from imposing the lifestyles, provide culturally competent professional practice. All of these are required to develop a culturally sensitive practices. Now, after this, we come to the next unit, that is the value of hard work as a value of social work. Now, we know that the hard work is the basis for everything, for achieving all that we desire, whether it is fulfilling our goals, whether it is fulfilling, our performance in our career, whether it is basically improving our abilities, and it is basically for an effective practice of social work. Now, social work, we know it's an holistic, responsible, and a demanding profession, and a lot of hard work is demanded from the professionals. It's characterized by enormous diversity, which demands diverse roles, skills, excellent knowledge base, and appropriate attitude, which are the outcome of the value of the hard work. Now, client expectations, agency requirements, societal demands make the social work profession even closer to the value of hard work. The values, principles, methods, and code of ethics of social work profession speak volumes about the value of hard work for a professional as basically as social doctors. Now, hard work, it comes close to the perspective that hard work is applying one's ability with focus, sincerity, and intensity. It is working consistently with the quality and continuing that cycle until a real and advantageous result is produced. So, it teaches perseverance, persistence, discipline, dignified conduct, and determination on part of the person. Teaches us to push through during the tough times, understanding that not everything in life is busy, but if we want to succeed in life and the profession that we are following, we need to work hard, and it can be achieved. It can be used to achieve success in all walks of life. Now, what is the role of hard work in social work profession? Now, basically, social work profession is it requires a hard work because of the fact that there's a lot of responsibility and commitment that is expected from a social worker. Cultural sensitivity is required, teachership, service, social justice, and integrity. They have to make a difference in their attitude and approach to personal life and vision. And also, they have to see beyond their needs and look at the larger reality around them. It's like walking a second mile to bring smiles in the faces of people that they serve. So, intense hard work along with great skills shall help a social work professional to achieve the goals that they want to, achieve in their profession. And it is basically now we also know that social workers are highly trained and experienced professionals, and they have to um, from the very beginning of the start of their professional studies, they have to start their hard work. And not only that, even when they start practicing on the field, or as they have to work with the most neglected, marginalized, and stigmatized lot sections of the society. And so it's basically a journey of solitude, prayer, introspection, reflection on experiences, working with one's inner consciousness and deep thoughts. And this is what is called as a hard work. And usually, very few students choose the profession after so much of a consideration, because it's not an easy journey, and you have to The person has to serve others before self. And because of the commitment to the values, it becomes a very difficult road to trudge. Um, Now, social worker also have to work. Social workers, they also have to work as educators, where they have to constantly be engaged in supervising and educating children, providing them with knowledge, also in research. It requires a lot of hard work, and it is also important for social work trainees because at this during their period of training they have to, you know, develop their understanding of the skills of the knowledge needed for the practice methods of social work, the attitudes, principles, and ethics in social work. How do we nurture hard work as value in social work? Now, there are five elements basically. One is the drive, that drive to go on, drive basically to, continue with the work. Second is the plan, planning ahead what we are doing, what kind of action we are taking. We have to plan it accordingly. The grind is the point where the working hard stops being fun and exciting and it starts becoming, more tedious and stressful. So we have to actually also, confront this situation in some part of our work. Sacrifices, a lot of sacrifices on the part of ourselves, on the part of relationships, finances, comfort level, all these that we may have to go through. But then there is also this payoff, where that is when the hard work becomes all the more worthwhile in terms of the achievement, in terms of the competencies that we develop over a period of time. All of these can be understood as the payoff. Now, there are certain principles of value of hard work. First of all, is the need to imbibe values of social work. Second is there's need to adequate preparation and homework prior to the social work interventions, trainings, and academic sessions. Need to focus on growth and development of the self, profession, and the client system. Also, need to have determination and dedication for the helping process. Need to strengthen knowledge base of social work. These are certain ways in which hard work basically these are the principles of value of hard work. Then there is also the role of professionals in applying the hard work in social work profession. Now, first of all, is application of professional values and knowledge in the practice of profession. How do we apply values and knowledge to profession? Using skills and knowledge effectively. Third is working to their full potential and being able to make sound decisions supported by quality professional consultation. Using evidence-based practice and continue to learn throughout their careers. Work in supportive teams and feel empowered to find innovative and creative solutions and access to technology that help them to do their job effectively. And finally, take appropriate supervision and guidance from the senior professionals. Now, what impact does hard work has on the social work profession? First of all, it widens the scope of social work practice. What are the opportunities that are available for us? What are the what are social work? What are the areas in which we can cover? It also gives us a lot of salary benefit, in terms of boosting our salary, also upgrading knowledge and skills, improving our skills and knowledge as a worker, effective practice framework, It has enabled social workers to effectively practice and the profession with clients in various environmental contexts. Professional development of the person, of the self. So these are some of the payoff of the principle of the value of hard work. After this, we come to the next unit, that is responsibility and commitment as a value of social work. So here we understand that responsibility is when it means a state or fact of having a duty to deal with something or having control over someone and the ability to respond. So it's defined as a duty or obligation to satisfactorily perform or complete a task. And responsibility means taking ownership of one's thoughts, feelings, and actions. There can be several forms of responsibilities. One is responsibilities for actions and the result of those actions. Second is the task and role responsibility. Third is a universal moral responsibility. Then is the legal responsibility, religious responsibility, social responsibility, that is responsibility towards society, personal responsibility, individual responsibility, environmental responsibility. Uh, After this responsibility comes the concept of commitment. Now, commitment may mean spending, basically, it's a state or quality of being dedicated to a cause, activity, etc. So, one should work for accomplishing a cause or an activity in which one should dedicate oneself faithfully. So, it's a process by which the goals of the organization and those of the individual become increasingly integrated or congruent. Okay, it's a state of being in which individual become bound by his action and through these action to beliefs that sustain the activities of his own involvement. Now, there are three levels of commitment, namely affective commitment, continuance commitment, and moral commitment. So, affective commitment is the degree to which an individual is psychologically attached to an employing organization through feelings like loyalty, affection, worthiness, belonging, pleasure, etc. Continuance commitment is the degree to which an individual experiences a sense of being locked in place because of the high cost of leaving the particular place. And moral commitment is basically the degree of which an individual is psychologically attached to an employing organization through internalization of its goals, values, and mission. So they basically stick to an organization because they feel that they can morally they get morally attached to the goals of the organization and the values and mission of the organization. They are they make it as their own mission and vision of their life. Now, there are three circles of commitment according to Kevin. One is a commitment to each other, that is, having a commitment to each other's success by when we are working as a part of a team. Second is commitment to the team. It is basically commitment to one's team and the success of the team. So, working as a part of the team and taking pride in that team. And the third level is commitment to the organization or the profession. So, whatever organization we are working for, or whatever profession that we follow, we have to stay committed to that organization and the profession. Now, when we talk about responsibility and commitment in social work professions, then we have to have these responsibilities and commitments towards the clients that we work for. We have to show this work with working with discipline and focus. Okay, enhancing the visibility and recognition of the profession, intervention based on professional values, and so all of these would be the different types of interventions that we would require when we work as a professional. And there are certain responsibilities and commitments for social work professionals. Now, though social work is very challenging, but it's a rewarding career, and um, we are responsible for helping individuals, families, and groups of people to cope with their problems or whatever they are facing in order to improve the patient's lives or the client's lives. Now, the main responsibility is upgrading their knowledge and skills. Okay. Also, as a social work academic administrator, they also have to improvise their knowledge, and also, um, uh, you know, uh, they are also responsible for professional development, including providing initiative to from policy formulation, liaising locally, regionally, and nationally to seek out the best practice as a social work academician or an educator. Then they have to give extent of responsibilities are there as an educator, because you have to impart knowledge and skills to the learners, work for the overall welfare of the society, and also train, counsel, and mold and shape students in social work. We also have to, at times, also participate in the uh, uh, theory building of the subject. Then, as a social work practitioner, we are responsible and committed towards the people that we are serving, towards the communities that we are serving, and also our towards the team, towards our agency, towards our colleagues, and also other people who are a part and parcel of this process, and other stakeholders, you may say. Social work trainees, definitely they have to, um, uh, they are expected to learn, practice values, expected to, be punctual, and find out opportunities to enhance their knowledge and skills. They also have to bear witness to the core values of service, dignity, and worth of the person. They are also responsible for utilizing the opportunities and facilities at the time of their training. Then these are expected to dedicate their prescribed times for practicum, and they have so in this way these three grade of practitioners, educators, or administrators and trainers, they are very important in, this is how they are committed to this and responsible to their work. Now, responsibility and commitment to social work organizations basically means responsibility for responding to the, needs of the organization that we work with, or responsibility of implementing the standards of social work in these organizations, managing these organizations, standardizing the processes, and utilizing the available resources effectively, networking with other partners and organizations, and basically strategizing the overall response of the organization according to the need of the work that we are doing. These would all be involved in the overall, um, being responsible towards the organization. Then responsibility and commitment, both these values, yeah, it has some principles. There is a need for social workers to exhibit professional responsibility towards social work practice. Then also it's a need in the context of professional relationship, need to maintain confidentiality about the information given by clients, and exercise responsibility and commitment to the profession while selecting agencies for the field placement. Also, So we have commitment and responsibility towards the clients, towards the workers, social work trainees. We have commitment and responsibility towards our colleagues and the practice settings or the agency. We have commitment responsibilities to the social work profession, guided by the values and principles and ethics in social work profession. So this is all about a responsibility and the commitment. Last, we come to the concept of teachership as a value in social work. This is teachership, as we know, is basically um, specialized application of knowledge, skills, and attributes designed to provide unique service to meet the educational needs of the individuals and the society. So we know that the goals of education are realized in the school, and it is a responsibility of the teachers to do that. Society expects the teachers to serve as a large extent as surrogate parents dealing with the emotional tangles and torments of the students. So you may say that's a divine profession where some people compare a teacher to a burning candle, and it's also sometimes can be a very challenging profession, having expectations from administrators, supervisors, parents, politicians, and the entire society. So teaching role in social work profession refers to empowering the clients and mentoring the social work trainees. It's the responsibility to teach clients necessary adaptive skills by providing relevant information in a way that is understandable to the client, offering advice and suggestions, identifying alternatives and their probable consequence, modeling behaviors, teaching problem solving techniques, and classifying perceptions. So it's an important uh, mechanism that facilitates promotion of scientific information and interventions in the social work practice. So it's not just merely focused on increasing the client's knowledge base, but also getting involved in becoming more effective analysts and mediators of the complex social situations. It also helps in teaching groups, in developing effective communication skills, in problem solving, critical thinking, and overall making value based interventions with problem solving process. Now, how it's a value of social work profession, academicians and value of teachership. We may say it's a formal, social workers have a formal role as educators because they understand that each student has different styles of learning, that we must focus on more than the way of teaching in order to meet an individual student's needs. So we need to have the skills of basically making the students understand, making this building educating the budding social workers, providing them with the required skills, also teaching them the methods and the principles of social work practice. Then also we have to collaborate with various departments. We have to, identify the um the need of the clients. We have to effectively use the contemporary methods of social work like advocacy, strengths based practice, public interest litigation, resource mobilizing, networking, and the awareness campaigns. Now, teaching and training the social work trainees is another prime responsibility of the social work practitioners, and they have to perform the role of social work supervisors. The supervisory role of the teacher finds its meaning in three major functions like administration, teaching, and guiding. All of these are important as teachers. Uh, a teacher teaching social work practice in the classroom is rather a very challenging and time consuming task, but it can be very rewarding at the same time. We can make this, the classroom instructions more interesting by, by a perception of the social work a practice, enhancing the problem solving, coping capacities of people, and promoting effective and humane operation of human service agencies, actively promoting the creation and development of fair and effective social policies, also helping creating conditions that prevent social problems and support successful social functioning for all people. There are also assumptions regarding teacher social work practice. Also, high expectations are generally developed as far as the student accomplishment is concerned, maintaining an open and interactive class environment is concerned. So, learning must occur in knowledge, values, and skills of the social work. Then techniques, procedures, and practice activities, these also need to be taught. Beliefs, values, and attitudes, these need to be effective practices. These are effective practices which need to be discussed with students. Their own values, what understand and grab what their own values are. You know, must be the faculty must be prepared to discuss ethical dilemmas, relevant moral and religious considerations, also selecting course objectives and teaching methodology, specifying the course objectives and the teaching methodologies, the evaluation methodologies, and all. Also, developing a critical thinking among the students, okay, being more open minded and understanding to the situations. Now, there are certain principles of the value of teachership. First is need to recognize teachership and professional social work as divine professions. Also, need to inspire and motivate the clients and the service seekers. Need to be passionate, positive, and enthusiastic in the helping process. Need to strengthen knowledge base and skills of social. Need to demonstrate quality. These are some of the principles. Then there are certain elements of teachership in social work practice, which involves teaching social and daily living skills, teaching the skills to the students, facilitating their behavior change. Going for primary interventions like helping them or uses the teachership skills in primary interventions like premarital counseling, family planning information, parenting skills, and all of these things. Training of social work students on various aspects, conducting research, supervising the social work trainees, and also relationship or rapport building among the students, developing individual skills, group skills, and community skills, developing problem solving skills and critical thinking. Also, uh, you know, uh, so these are some of the important. Um, um, you may say that these are some of the methods of improving some of the basic underlying assumptions, principles. Expression of teachership in social work practice is now we know that as a teacher, we have to uh, we can express this teachership to the social work practice by following ways. First of all, responding to emergency. Okay. Second is challenging social injustice. Third is having a positive regard to the clients. They must be treated equally by workers with respect. Then having a warmth and let the clients feel safe, building a strong rapport with the client, providing guidance to the clients or to the students, in various aspects, mentoring the students, um, providing them with psychological support, providing them with any kind of support that they require. So this brings us to an end to the MSW 17. Tomorrow, we will be meeting again, and we will be taking up the next course in social work. And so we will meet again tomorrow, same time. Thank you so much for the time.